All right, here we go with today's 5K every day. I totally apologize. I talk a lot about ErgData being in the background and seeing a guy's icon and like that messes up a couple of times and I have to click buttons, but unfortunately it ran out of battery, died and didn't save the row. So everything I talk about in ErgData is completely pointless because it's not there. I'll maybe just put up a shot of like some kittens or something that you can watch while you're rowing. Enjoy your row. I look forward to getting it right in the next one. Until then, here we go with today's 5K every day. Hi there everybody, it's the start of a new week and it's another 5K every day. Remember, I'm the one rowing 5,000 meters here. You can row whatever you want. I'm going to be around about 21, 22 minutes, so you will possibly cover more or less than 5,000 meters within that time. I will then do some stretching at the end of the workout, of which you can then continue to row, listen to my ramblings, have a great workout, all right? So we're going to get straight into this. It's a bit chilly, so I want to warm up. Get your machine set up first. Set your drag factor resistance, whatever you have on your machine, to wherever you want it to be. Now I'm going to go for my lever setting. It's kind of bang on 5 today, which I know gives me a drag factor of 130. Do not rely on just lever setting, all right? Next up, go to your foot stretcher height and set it to a point where you're able to come to the front of the machine with your shins in a vertical position comfortably. Often people have them too high and that then compresses you and it's really quite uncomfortable. So lower is usually better, but also look at how you sit in the seat. I want you to be sitting up more towards the front of the seat with a nice primed posture up on your sit bones rather than your hips pointing backwards, rolled back. And this is kind of where lots of back pain and stuff comes in, which nobody wants. So the rowing machine shouldn't give you back pain. If you sit on it right and use it right, you should be okay. Should be in the inverted commas there. And then finally, this is a really long intro. When we hold the handle, we want to go for shoulder width, okay? So nice and wide rather than in the mid, right tight in the middle, and fingers hooked over the handle, not like a like a T-Rex, but hooked over the handle rather than a death grip. You want to be hooked over it, all right? See, I told you I was cold. My brain is going. I'm so cold. Right, okay. We're going to get started once I get this off. Oh, this really is one of those days where I should just restart, but I'm not going to. We're going to get going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. So, in case you're new to my ramblings, my rowing and rambling, maybe that's why I should change this channel title to The Rambling Rower. These are just easy, low intensity, 20 to 22 minute rows designed to get your body moving at some stage in the day. Whether this row is your only workout of the day or whether you're using it as cardio possibly within a weights workout in the gym, you're just like, all right, got to do 20 minutes of cardio, let's find out what that idiot's talking about. Or whether, like me, this is like your buy-in to the day. This is my opening workout. Wake up, have a cup of coffee, row this 5K every day, and then lunchtime today, I think it's a bike workout I've got planned, and then weights this evening. But it doesn't matter why you're using it, but if you can structure 20 minutes of low intensity rowing into your day, it's going to make a huge difference to your rowing performance if you care about that, to your health in terms of giving you a moment of like elevated heart rate and intensity, provided of course that you are healthy to be exercising in the first place. And then possibly if you are trying to lose weight through a calorie controlled diet, then the 250 or so calories that you'll burn each time you come in and row this workout might be a huge part to that. And there is an element here of consistency. Not that I'm trying to give you a hard sell about coming back from day to day, but I've noticed a kind of Oh, an improvement in body composition that I can only put down to the fact that I'm doing these workouts Monday to Friday all the time. It's like you do see the odd YouTube video from time to time saying, this is the result of me rowing 5k every day or running 5k every day or whatever. And yes, there's an element there of sensationalism, but also I've got an itchy nose again. Oh, what's that keep happening? Maybe I need to, next time I'm at the Turkish barbers and they offer to stick 2 blobs of wax up my nose, I should probably say yes, hey? Yeah, so there is an element of sensationalism to those videos, but it is also effective. As long as you're not trying to replace those 250 calories, like, oh, that means I can now go and eat a Snickers or whatever your preferred chocolate is. But the key for these rows then is to try, if you're using the way that I do, is a buy into your day. It's about low intensity. So I would normally row 20 strokes a minute, round about 203, 204 pace as my kind of training pace, 2k plus 18. But I'm down at 208, 209, as you can see, an ErgData that's playing behind us today. So if I was to give this an effort out of 10, it'd be like 4.5. It's not quite 5. 5 out of 10 would be like 203. But it's possibly a little, I'd say 4 out of 10 is like slowly walking upstairs. Not enough that your heart rate goes up or your breathing rate goes up, but you have to use your muscles. 5 out of 10, that is when your heart rate and breathing rate goes up, when you're climbing upstairs. So that's what you should be looking for, but also you should be thinking about how your body is moving. And that's being weird now, 6 minutes in, I should really do a quick, let's see if I can get through technique nice and quick today. Yeah, so technique, how your body moves, will give you the safest row, the most efficient row, and the most effective row. Safe in terms of injury prevention, efficient in terms of being able to put the power in from all of your body, rather than it all being about pulling with your arms. And then that then leads into effective. If you can row with a good technique and make sure that you're using legs, body, and arms, then you're going to get a much better workout. You will see and feel your legs pumping, your back bracing against the stroke, your shoulders engaging. And although it's all about the drive, putting the power in, you actually set up your drive from the back of the stroke. So as the handle touches your chest, you use the elasticity of your muscles and tendons, plus most rowing machines have like a bungee cord that has a slight pull of the handle back towards the front of the machine. Not all of them do. I mean, water rowers are quite weak that way, but on a Concept 2, there's a elastic band that's a very slight, not like a really hard tugging force, but it's enough that when it's combined with your muscles and tendons kind of being a spring as you pull your arms into the chest, the handle wants to come away from your chest. So let it. Here's that guy again. He's just hanging around on the start line. So let the handle come away. Whew. Don't hold it against your chest. And then as the handle comes away, sit up. Remember I said in the setup at the beginning of the row how important it is to sit on your sit bones. Well, if you can get the handle away and sit up right as you finish the stroke, that's how you make sure that happens. And then you just tilt forwards over your hips, still in your sit bones, but now tilting towards the front of the machine. And then as your hands pass your knees and your head is almost at your knees, you bend your knees. And because of the momentum taking you forwards with your arms and your body tilt, that bend of your knees is all you need to be able to roll into the front of the machine. So hands up, tilt, knees. And then you roll until shins are vertical at the front. Try not to go past that. If you do, that overcompression kind of causes power leaks. And it might well be that you're finding it easy to hit overcompression. If you haven't, oh no, well that's gonna be annoying. Oh, how do I click that away? All right. Look at this for, okay. Nope, didn't get it that time. Yay. Sorry, broke the rhythm there. Podcast people, my iPad just came up with a low power notification, so I had to try and click it away and it was on the floor. We got there, possibly fell out of rhythm, I'm afraid. Anyway, yes, if you have that posture with your hips rolled backwards as you come into the front of the machine, that's often the cause of your shins going past vertical. Could also just be that you're sliding too far, in which case, try not to. But arms straight, forwards tilt, shins vertical, and then push the machine away with your feet. Push. Holding straight arms and that forwards tilt for as long as possible. Once your legs are about halfway done, that's when you swing over your back. And then as you start that backswing, that's when you finally pull the handle in to your chest, to sternum height, with flat wrists, and then we start all over again. There you go, that went on longer than it should because of messing around with the iPad. I did try to run, oh look, there he is, he's still there. I did try and use Kino Map today. I upload a lot of my workouts to Kino Map and like the scenic rowing videos I made. So I tried to load it up today so I could show that app off. But unfortunately, I don't seem to have any kind of subscription. So I'll maybe get in touch with Romain and ask if he can unlock something for me so I can show it off to you. Which is why we're using ErgData, and we keep on passing people and people are passing us. So how was your weekend? Mine was interesting. My weekend took me back to being 16 when I had, or I was together with my first ever real girlfriend. I'm gonna leave names out of this, but she was the first girl, like she wasn't just like a school girlfriend where you think you're in some kind of emotional relationship, but really it's just all you want to do is smooch. But there isn't really a proper connection, it's just a girl who was pretty, who you just wanted to kiss. Anyway, so 16, 17, I met a girl and fell head over heels in love with her. And it was interesting because we met and about a month later, she was hit really badly with glandular fever, or mono, if you're in the States. And she was like bedridden for a month. She had an allergic reaction to the penicillin. She was in a pretty bad way. So I didn't see her. We kind of saw each other for around about a month, and then didn't see each other for a month. And this was back in 91. No cell phones, no internet. Did have a landline, but she was kind of so poorly that I didn't want to make her get out of bed to find the phone in the kitchen. So we just communicated by letter, really. I'd write her letters telling her what I was doing, but also just writing about my kind of concern and care for her. I think that really brought us together emotionally in a way that just kind of hanging around and going to bars and stuff probably wouldn't have done. But eventually she was better and I went to see her, and that was the first time I'd gone to her house and the first time that I met her parents. And this is why I was thinking about her on Friday night, because one of my girls invited a boy into the house. Not like a vampire, but just she'd met this boy, really likes him. She's like, can you come home? Well, of course. And so there's this teenage boy standing next to the apple of my eye, and I had a choice to make. I could either be the stereotypical grumpy, overprotective dad and be like, oh, yeah, whatever, or Could stick out my hand. Oh, there it is again. Oh, hang on. I thought I'd hit low power mode, but apparently not. Let's do it this time. Maybe one of these rows this week will go without some kind of error. Yeah, so there he is. And I'm like, and I just remembered being 16, 17, standing in her, inside her door, meeting her parents for the first time, and how generous and kind and accepting they were of me. Even though, in my case, I was totally the wrong guy for her. She was super intelligent, still is, I think. I was saying she was intelligent then, I can only assume she still is. She had like a proper smart future ahead of her, whereas I was messing up school because I just wanted to play the drums for Van Halen or the band Half Cut that I was playing in at the time. If you're ever on YouTube, search for Half Cut Somebody Help Me, and you'll see a very old grainy video of me and my band playing along to a song. Be interested if anybody does. Let me know if you do. Anyway, so I was wrong for her, but I suppose her parents didn't know that at the time. But still, they were really welcoming. And you come, nice to meet you, all that stuff. And so that was the template that I used when I met this fella. Shook his hand, welcomed him into the home, had a conversation with him. So 3, 4 years later, it really just came home to me how generous her parents were. Needless to say, the relationship didn't last. Almost made it to a year, but she went to uni, I was still at school. She realised that she could do better. I was heartbroken though. I remember going round to her house, just thinking it was another Friday night, but she sat me down. We need to talk. Huh? Where'd this come from? And 5 minutes later, I'm in tears. Absolutely heartbroken. Partly because I didn't see it coming, but also because I was just absolutely besotted by this girl. Whew. One more stroke for me. In fact, tell you what, I'll keep rowing slowly just until I get to the end of my story. Then we'll do some stretching. I'm almost at the end, don't worry. But yeah, so totally in tears. And then I spent, I'd say the next week, maybe 2 weeks, I'd wake up in the middle of the night. I'd wake up crying, just sobbing my heart out. Like I say, this was the first emotional connection with a girl I'd ever had. First kind of, let's call it a grown-up relationship. And I suppose my reaction to being dumped possibly wasn't grown up, but she totally ripped my heart out. I mean, again, looking back at it, you can tell how I've told the story. I know that I wasn't the right guy for her, and certainly when she went to uni and she saw everything ahead of her, everything that was available, she suddenly saw a world of smart people that didn't want to play the drums for Van Halen that weren't, they were clever enough, if anything else, to realize that I was never going to get to play the drums for Van Halen. I do say that as a joke, but I know I would never have been the drummer for Van Halen, but that was kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a famous rock drummer. The funny thing is that quite soon after breaking up with this girl, like say 3-4 months, the band I was in, Half Cut, we ended up splitting up. So it was a rough time for poor John. Yeah, so I carried on, played drums in a couple of bands for like a year or so afterwards, but actually life had moved on. I started to get into dance music, boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. So I was not playing the drums as much, wasn't really listening to rock as much anymore. I mean, I went through a period of 5 or 6 years of not even listening to Van Halen once. I know. And yeah, came full circle. So I met Julie when I was 21, and on 96 I would have been 21, and we went on, no, 97. So yeah, I would have been 22 then, and we went on holiday together. So yeah, so we met in 96, and to go on holiday together, I sold my drum kit to be able to afford to go on holiday. So that was the end of my drumming when I was like 21, 22. And then, what was it? 2019, I got back together with the band that I was playing in Half Cut, because they were turning 50 and they wanted to do a concert. And so I started playing the drums again, and that would have been, what we're saying, like 22, 3 years after I'd stopped playing the drums. There you go. I know Paul had asked could give us some of your history. I don't think this is the history that he was asking for. I think he was probably asking more for rowing history. Right, so it's like 24.5 minutes worth of rowing, give or take, with me having to stop I'm so sorry about the iPad issues. You can continue rowing if you want to get up to your 5K, or if you're done and you've cooled down along with me, then I'm going to do some stretching, and I'm going to start off with hamstrings. So I loosen the straps off in the foot plates, then I flick my toes up against those foot straps, legs straight. I mean, you don't really want to lock them down, but make sure that they are down. Don't want like a downward bend to them. I don't know what mine are like, but they're definitely, I don't have a soft bend. It's definitely they are down. Hands in the air, and then just fold your upper body down. Now you can see just how inflexible or tight my hamstrings are, that this is all I need to do in order to set my hamstrings on fire. I've got good lower back posture, legs are down, and I just hinge forwards, and then everything is just on fire down here in my hamstrings. I don't know whether it's because recently I've got a sit-stand desk in my office. That obviously I can sit down or stand up, hence sit-stand desk. And I've kind of fallen into, for the past like 6 months or so, of always just sitting down. Usually because I'm so exhausted from the exercise I do throughout the day. But I don't know whether having my feet in that like constantly like this position, that's what's causing my hamstrings to have an issue with it. Really tight. Right, glutes next. Hang on, I've got to work out what way I need to do this. If I do that one, then yeah, right, okay. Sorry, it's just so I can look at you for the first leg I do, that's all. So for glutes, I put one leg up on the rail so my heel is in between the foot plates to start with, okay? So the leg is kind of, I'm not touching the rail because of how my heel is, but it might eventually. Bring this leg up and over so that my heel sits in the crook of my knee, that kind of the divot of my knee. Bring that knee across me, so I've got a straight line between my face, knee, and monitor. Hold that knee in place in line with my other arm, and then just for stability, hold on to the back of the machine and rotate my upper body round. So looking that way, rotate. Still keeping this knee, this straight line, okay, that would be there if I was looking forwards. That's really important that you don't, as you rotate, you're not letting your knee open up. You keep it in place, you rotate, okay? And then that gives me a fantastic stretch down here in my right glute. My right glute is tighter than my left glute. Could not tell you why, but it is, possibly. My left side tends to kind of be up. I've been seeing it's I've forgotten what it's called again. Oh, it's a guy who basically stretches me to try and solve this problem. I need to make another appointment to go and see him, actually. But there's definitely a problem. So apologies for turning around on you. I've just changed leg. Podcast people, I've just changed legs. Remember, by the way, for those who are on YouTube right now, so this is a call out to both sides. If you are listening to the podcast, remember these videos are all up on YouTube for you to watch. You don't have to listen on podcast. And for all you YouTube viewers, remember there is a podcast version of this, so you don't have to watch me. I don't care how you watch me, just watch me if you can. No, that's not right, because I'm saying watch, aren't I? Sorry. I sang at you, apologies. Right, I'm going to do, you know what, I was going to skip doing quads, but let's do quads. So stand up next to the machine, fix your t-shirt, and then I rest one hand on the monitor for stability, bring one knee up in front of you, so you're standing on one leg, and that will let you hold onto your ankle and then bring it behind you so that you can pull your heel up so that it touches your backside. Then I let go of the monitor, and then I talk about how amazing I am at standing on one leg, and then I invariably fall over. That's a joke. I never talk about how amazing I am standing on one leg. Especially this, my left leg, this is the one that has the ankle problem, which I'm pretty sure now is all coming from tendons coming down the side of my Achilles tendon, down like it's my left foot, so down the left-hand side. Because every morning when I wake up, I've got like really sharp pains down that side of my tendon. Right, changing legs, rest one hand on the monitor, bring my knee up, and then pull the ankle back. I'll try and get through these quick. The problem is that what I know that people won't be able to reconcile sometimes is that when I put up the little thing at the top saying 22 minutes of rowing, and then they look at the length of the video or the podcast and it's like 35 minutes, they'll be like, wait, what? What's that guy on about? So I don't want to scare people off by you thinking that it's a 35-minute row we're doing. Maybe you are still rowing though, keep going. Right, shoulders next. So if I sit like this, you'll see what I mean about like this shoulder's probably higher. I'm going to guess it's higher. There just seems to be a bit of a to the left-hand side of my body, which is KC, KP, KN, KT, I don't know. Right, hands together in front of you, push them together and then bring them down in front of your body so that your thumbs are at the same height as your sternum. And this should mean that your forearms are pretty much parallel to the floor, possibly pointing a little bit more down. Just really, what you're aiming for here is to bring them down in front of you until you feel a stretch in your wrists and forearms, all right? That's the point. There isn't actually like the moment you hit parallel, you're going to get an amazing stretch. It's not really that. It's like as you come down, you'll eventually find that stretch. And if you're still pushing your hands together, your fingers will get a wee bit of a stretch as well as they push together, all right? And then we'll finish off with shoulders, okay? So everyone do the John Bon Jovi pose. Hey! And then bring your arm across your body so that I've now got 45-degree, kind of just because of this elasticity point, and then I loop my other arm over my elbow and then bring that arm so it's now completely straight across my body, all right? So, and that kind of rebound thing, that like the 45-degree angle that I've now forced by closing using this arm to kind of close it across. So when I let go of my arm, it comes out automatically. And this is kind of what I'm on about at the back of the machine, right? So when you pull the handle in and your tendons and muscles then kind of, they coil up like a spring, they want to release. And it's the same as when you go, jump on Jovi, bring it across your body. Oh no, the iPad's just shut down. Oh no, does that mean it's not saved? There's a chance that ErgData was now not in the background because that just ran out of battery, so it possibly didn't save it. Let's find out. So there may be a message right at the very beginning of this video saying, John talks about ErgData running in the background, but because the battery died in his iPad, which then means the whole thing of it kind of come up in low power mode and whatever, you'll have, oh man. Just like the intro, this is one of those videos that I should just redo, but I'm not gonna because, you know what? I would say warts and all. I wouldn't say it was a wart, but yeah, I mean, there's now been like 3 rows in a row where things have gone wrong, which is terribly unprofessional. But yeah, I'm still going to upload it, so sorry. Let's see, maybe it did save before it shut down. Maybe it saved itself. You never know. Right. Okay, we're all done. Yeah, that was unfortunate. Thank you for joining for this one. Hopefully you kind of, hopefully you resonate with this bag of meat and bones, and this is why you're coming back. Okay, things like that going wrong and whatever. Maybe that's what makes this an entertaining row for you. Maybe this is why you do come back and kind of watch my stuff, because this is just, I'm just here rowing along with you, hence the name RowAlong. I'm not sitting here trying to, for these workouts anyway, I'm not shouting and trying to coach you and trying to get you to row faster. We're just spending time together. Admittedly, you're spending time with me. I'm not spending time with you. So, but you never know. World tour coming up. If someone could just bankroll me, I'm happy to travel the world and row with people. And just unfortunately, I'm not in the place to generate money from YouTube to be able to do that. So if you can give me a couple of million followers, or pounds, or the lottery numbers, that'd do. So thank you so much for joining me for this one. I apologize for if there was a technical error. I'm very sorry. I'll try and type myself up for the next row. Hopefully you enjoyed this one anyway. It's all about the row. It's not about this side of it. It's about what you're doing on your machine, not this bump, all right? I will see you in the next one. Make sure and have a shower, have something to eat, something to drink, and of course tell someone you love them. Until the next time, row well, be well. Bye-bye.